6. Ultimate Stoic Guides to Self-Control and Discipline. Have you ever caught yourself losing control of your emotions? Or found yourself stuck in the endless loop of procrastination, knowing you should be doing something, but just can't seem to get started? We've all been there. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the noise around us and the pressure we put on ourselves. But what if there was a way to break free from that cycle? A way to gain control, not by forcing yourself to do more, but by shifting the way you approach life itself. That's where Stoicism comes in. Now, I'm not talking about some dusty philosophy buried in ancient texts. Stoicism is one of the most practical and powerful tools you can use to master self-control and discipline in your everyday life. And it's not just for monks or philosophers. It's for anyone who's ever struggled with sticking to a routine, keeping their cool when life gets tough, or breaking bad habits. Imagine having the strength to face any challenge, no matter how big or small, and stay calm, focused, and disciplined. Imagine not being thrown off course by distractions, emotions, or external circumstances. That's what the Stoics, people like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, were all about. In this video, we're diving deep into 6 ultimate Stoic guides that will help you build unshakable self-control and discipline. These aren't just principles to read about and forget. They're actionable strategies that can transform the way you approach your day-to-day life. We'll explore how to focus on what you can control, stop overthinking, and take intentional action, even when the world around you seems chaotic. So if you're ready to stop letting distractions and impulses rule your life, and instead start cultivating real, lasting discipline, stick around. Let's break down how the ancient Stoics can help you create a life of true self-mastery. Because the truth is, you're in control. Part 1. The Stoic Mindset. What is self-control? Really? All right. Before we dive into the specific Stoic principles, let's take a step back and ask ourselves, what is self-control really? In today's world, we're bombarded with distractions, notifications, advertisements, social media, and endless information. It's so easy to react impulsively or give in to the next quick pleasure. But here's the thing, Stoicism isn't about avoiding pleasure or trying to be perfect. It's about understanding what you can control, managing your emotions, and intentionally directing your actions toward what matters most. Self-control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about understanding them. It's about being able to step back and respond with clarity and purpose instead of being driven by impulses. We've all felt that moment where we lose our cool or procrastinate when we know we should be working. Stoicism helps us take a breath, pause, and choose how we respond instead of being at the mercy of our emotions or impulses. Here's a key point. Self-control in Stoicism is about mastering your reactions. Think about this. When life hits you with a challenge, a setback, or even an unexpected delay, it's not the situation itself that creates stress. It's how you react to that situation. Are you able to pause and choose your response? Or do you let frustration take the wheel? Take a moment and think about this. What's one thing that always throws you off course? Maybe it's getting angry when things don't go as planned, or maybe it's falling into old habits when you're stressed. Now imagine if, instead of reacting immediately, you could take a step back, breathe, and decide how to handle it, without getting swept away in the emotion of the moment. That's what Stoicism is all about, the ability to create space between a trigger and your response. And here's the beautiful part. It's something you can train. Every time you catch yourself in a knee-jerk reaction, that's an opportunity to practice self-control. Every time you feel tempted to procrastinate, that's your moment to choose discipline. So let's break down the first key element of Stoic self-control, the dichotomy of control. Part 2. The dichotomy of control. This is probably one of the most fundamental ideas in Stoicism. the dichotomy of control. Let me explain it in simple terms. There are things that are completely within your control, and there are things you can't control at all. The trick is to focus all your energy on what you can control and let go of the rest. This principle isn't just about accepting things as they are. It's about shifting your focus to what's actually within your power. For example, you can't control the weather, other people's behavior, or even the outcome of many situations. But what you can control is your response to them. Think about it. Every time you get upset about something outside of your control, you're wasting energy. You're stressing about the uncontrollable, and in the process, you're letting your inner peace slip away. But when you focus only on what you can control, like your actions, thoughts, and responses, you're able to maintain calm and clarity, even in the most challenging situations. Here's where this really hits home. The only thing you truly control is your reaction. Let's say you're having a tough day at work. Maybe your boss gives you unexpected criticism, or your colleague takes credit for something you did. You can't control their behavior or how they react, but you can control your attitude. You can choose to get defensive, angry, and upset, or you can take a deep breath, assess the situation objectively, and choose your next move. This is where discipline comes into play. Instead of reacting out of anger, frustration, or defensiveness, you can decide how to respond with intention. Stoicism teaches you that it's not about avoiding discomfort, but learning to handle it with grace. It's about recognizing that your inner state doesn't need to be dictated by external circumstances. You choose how you want to show up in the world. Real-life example. Think of a time you were stuck in traffic. It's frustrating, right? But the reality is, you can't change the traffic. You can't control how long it's going to take, or if someone cuts you off. But what you can control is how you react. You can choose to fume and let it ruin your day, or you can decide to listen to a podcast, enjoy some music, or simply be at peace with the situation. That's the power of the dichotomy of control. It's a game changer because it frees you from the endless cycle of stress caused by trying to control things that are beyond your reach. How to apply this? Recognize what's in your control. If you're stressed about something, ask yourself, can I change this? If not, let it go. Focus on what you can control, like your reaction, your effort, or your mindset. Let go of what's outside your control. Whether it's how others behave or the challenges life throws your way, let go of the need to control every outcome. Instead, focus on staying grounded and calm, knowing you have the power to choose how to respond. Practice mindfulness. The more aware you are of your thoughts and reactions, the better you'll be at catching yourself before you lose control. Practice mindfulness or meditation to build that awareness and strengthen your ability to choose your responses. Part 3. Amor fati. Love your fate. Let's talk about a concept that might sound a little strange at first. Amor fati, or love your fate. You know those days where everything feels like it's going wrong. Maybe you miss a big opportunity, or things just don't turn out the way you hoped. We've all had those moments, right? It's easy to get frustrated and wish things were different. But here's where Stoicism offers a radical shift in perspective. Instead of resisting what's happening, we embrace it. Amor fati literally translates to love your fate. It means learning to love everything that happens to you, good and bad. Yes, even the challenges, setbacks, and failures. The Stoics believed that everything that happens is an opportunity to grow. And if you can see things this way, you'll be far more resilient and at peace with whatever life throws your way. Think about this. What if you could see every challenge as an opportunity to practice virtue and strength? Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You ask, what can I learn from this? Or better yet, how can I use this to grow? This mindset isn't about pretending things are perfect when they're not. It's not about denying your pain or struggles. It's about choosing to see them through a lens of growth. It's about saying, whatever happens, I'll make the best of it. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine you're working on a big project at work. You've poured hours into it, and just before you submit it, something goes wrong. Maybe you lose all your progress or it gets rejected. It feels like the universe is against you. But instead of getting angry or giving up, what if you took a deep breath, accepted that this setback is part of your journey, and used it as a chance to do better the next time? Here's the real magic of amor fati. Loving your fate doesn't mean you always like it. It means accepting it as part of your life and choosing to make the best of whatever comes your way. So, when life tests you, whether it's a mistake you made, an unexpected setback, or something you didn't plan for, embrace it. Love it. Learn from it. Here's how you can apply amor fati in your own life. Shift your perspective. When something goes wrong, instead of resisting or feeling sorry for yourself, ask, what can I learn from this? What's the lesson in this moment? Reframe your setbacks. Next time you face a disappointment or a failure, remind yourself that it's part of the process. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Find the growth in adversity. When you're going through hard times, try to find how the challenge can make you stronger. Every difficult experience is a chance to sharpen your character and expand your resilience. The beauty of amor fati is that once you start embracing life this way, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You stop fighting what is and start working with it. And that, my friend, is freedom. Part 4. The dichotomy of desire. Managing expectations. Let's talk about desire, specifically, how we can manage it so that it doesn't run our lives. We all have desires. We want success, wealth, love, happiness, and yes, sometimes, things that feel out of our control. But here's a Stoic insight that's surprisingly simple. Too much desire leads to suffering. The Stoics were very clear about this. Desires themselves aren't bad, but when we become overly attached to them, we lose our peace. Think about it. When you desire something, whether it's a promotion, a relationship, or a certain outcome, it's natural to feel disappointed when things don't go as planned. But if your happiness depends on external things, you're giving away your power. Now, here's where Stoicism can really change the game. The key is managing your expectations. When you expect everything to go your way, or attach yourself to one specific outcome, you set yourself up for frustration. But when you can let go of rigid expectations and be okay with whatever happens, you'll find that you're much more at peace. This is where the Stoic idea of virtue as its own reward comes into play. Instead of focusing on the outcomes, focus on doing your best, making the right choices, and aligning with your values. That's enough. The rest is just a bonus. Here's how you can manage your desires and set yourself up for greater peace and control over your life. Set realistic expectations. When you're working towards a goal, focus on the process, not just the result. For example, if you're aiming for a promotion at work, focus on doing great work and learning along the way, not obsessing over the promotion itself. Detach from specific outcomes. Recognize that you can't control everything. You can control your actions, but not how others react or how circumstances unfold. Learn to find joy in the process, not just the result. Cultivate contentment with less. The Stoics didn't believe in denying desires altogether, but they practiced contentment with less. This is the core of simple living, being grateful for what you have right now, rather than constantly chasing the next thing. Here's an example. Maybe you're working on a fitness goal. You want to lose weight or build muscle, but instead of obsessing over the scale, focus on the actions that lead to success. Eating healthier, exercising consistently, and enjoying the journey. The scale doesn't define your worth, the effort and discipline do. By detaching from the outcome, you'll find that you feel more motivated and less frustrated when things don't go exactly as planned. Part 5. Memento Mori. Remember your mortality. Let's get real for a second. We all know life is short, but do we really live like we believe it? Most of us get caught up in the day-to-day grind, chasing after more, bigger, better, without ever taking a moment to pause and reflect on the fleeting nature of time. Memento Mori is the Stoic practice of remembering your mortality, remembering that you're going to die. Now, I know that might sound a little grim or morbid, but hear me out. It's actually one of the most liberating ideas out there. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius would remind themselves constantly, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about grounding yourself in the reality that your time here is finite, and that knowledge can be a powerful motivator. Think about it. What would you do today if you truly knew that you might not have tomorrow? Would you spend time scrolling on social media or procrastinating? Would you avoid the uncomfortable conversations you know you need to have? Or would you take bold, intentional action toward what you really want? The truth is, our fear of mortality is often what keeps us from living fully. We avoid making decisions, taking risks, and facing the uncomfortable because we don't want to confront the idea that life is temporary. But when you remember your mortality, it sharpens your focus. It makes the small things, like worrying about what people think or holding on to resentment, seem insignificant in comparison to the bigger picture. How to apply Memento Mori in your life. Make every day count. Ask yourself, if I died tomorrow, would I be proud of how I spent today? Use this reminder to motivate yourself to take action on what matters most. Don't waste time on trivial things. Focus your energy on meaningful work, relationships, and growth. Let go of petty distractions and align your actions with your values. Embrace impermanence. When things go wrong, remember that this moment, good or bad, is fleeting. The challenges you face now are part of a much bigger journey. Use them as opportunities to practice your Stoic virtues and build inner strength. Here's a simple exercise. Spend 5 minutes each morning reflecting on your mortality. It might sound strange, but it helps you live with greater urgency and purpose. Ask yourself, what can I do today that will bring me closer to the life I truly want? Memento Mori reminds us to live intentionally, to be present, and to cherish every moment because it is limited. And when you start living with this awareness, you'll find that your focus sharpens and your motivation soars. Part 6. The Inner Citadel. Building Mental Fortitude. So far, we've talked a lot about mindset shifts, but now let's dive into the practical side of Stoic discipline. Building mental fortitude. This is what the Stoics called your inner citadel, a mental space that is invulnerable to the chaos and stress of the outside world. The Stoics believed that we all have the ability to develop a sort of inner strength that remains untouched by external circumstances. Think about it. No matter what life throws at you, whether it's a financial crisis, a difficult relationship, or a global pandemic, if you have a strong enough mental foundation, you won't be thrown off course. You can weather any storm because your core is unshakable. Mental fortitude isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about having the resilience to stay grounded and focused, even when things get tough. It's about choosing how you respond, no matter what happens. It's about training your mind to be unshakable in the face of adversity. Now, building that mental strength takes time. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you become. The Stoics used practices like meditation, journaling, and reflection to train their minds and develop this inner fortitude. How to build your inner citadel. Practice daily reflection. Take time each day to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and emotions. Journaling is a great way to do this. Ask yourself questions like, what did I do today that aligned with my values? What could I have done better? Reflection helps you become aware of your weaknesses and strengths, which is the first step toward mental growth. Embrace discomfort. One of the key ways to build mental fortitude is by voluntarily stepping into discomfort. Whether it's physical, like exercise, or emotional, like having difficult conversations, putting yourself in situations that push you outside your comfort zone helps build resilience. Focus on your response, not the event. Remember that you can't control the events of your life, but you can always control how you respond. In difficult moments, take a step back and breathe. Choose a response that is calm, thoughtful, and aligned with your values. This is where your mental fortitude truly shows. Build a Stoic routine. Develop a daily practice that strengthens your mind. This could include meditation, reading Stoic texts, or setting a few intentional goals each day. Just as physical exercise strengthens your body, these mental exercises strengthen your inner citadel. Cultivate a growth mindset. When life challenges you, don't see it as something to fear. See it as an opportunity to build your mental strength. Embrace failure, learn from mistakes, and keep growing. A true Stoic sees every setback as a chance to practice resilience. Conclusion: taking the Stoic path to self-mastery. So here we are at the end of this deep dive into Stoicism, the 6 ultimate guides to self-control and discipline. And if you've made it this far, I hope you're starting to see how these timeless principles aren't just abstract ideas from ancient philosophers. They're tools you can use today, right now, to live a life that's more focused, purposeful, and in your control. Let's quickly review what we've learned. The dichotomy of control teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, our thoughts, our responses, while letting go of what's outside our reach. Amor fati, the practice of loving our fate, helps us embrace every moment, good or bad, as an opportunity for growth. Managing desire reminds us that true happiness doesn't come from getting what we want, but from aligning with our values and cultivating contentment with less. Memento mori, remembering our mortality, pushes us to live with urgency and gratitude, making every moment count. The inner citadel encourages us to build mental fortitude, to train our minds so that we can weather any storm and respond to life's challenges with grace and discipline. Now, I want to leave you with a simple but profound idea. You have the power to choose how you respond to life. When you truly understand and internalize these Stoic principles, they become the foundation of your daily actions. They help you turn obstacles into opportunities, frustrations into fuel, and distractions into focus. And over time, they'll transform you from someone who reacts to life's challenges into someone who controls how they meet those challenges. But here's the thing. Stoicism is a practice, not a destination. It's not about achieving perfection or always getting it right. It's about consistently choosing to live in alignment with these principles, to train your mind and your emotions, and to keep showing up with discipline and intention, no matter the circumstances. So, take action today. What's one Stoic principle you can apply to your life right now? Maybe it's focusing on what you can control, or reframing a recent setback with amor fati. Maybe it's simply reflecting on your day and asking yourself, did I live in a way that I can be proud of? Remember, every small choice you make adds up over time, and before you know it, you'll have built a life of self-mastery, one where you're in control of your thoughts, actions, and responses. A life that's disciplined, focused, and deeply fulfilling. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So, choose wisely. Choose discipline. Choose control. And, most importantly, choose to live your life with purpose, knowing that you have everything you need within you to create the life you truly want. Thank you for watching, and if you're ready to take the next step in your journey of self-control and discipline, I encourage you to start with one small action today. Let Stoicism be the guide that helps you become the best version of yourself. Call to action. Optional. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content on how to live a more disciplined, focused life. And let me know in the comments, what Stoic principle are you going to start practicing today? I'd love to hear how you're applying these teachings to your life.